And Nia joins us from the studio today. Welcome to this social. And before we go any further, everyone, we have a little bit of breaking news that we just learned backstage. Do you want to share it?
Yes, I just became a New York Times bestselling author.
Oh my God, I'm so happy for you, Nia.
Thank you so much.
Okay, let's start with the book. Okay, the book's called Bottom of the Pyramid, for those who are not familiar with the show. Talk to us about what that means and why you chose that title.
Yes, of course. So the pyramid is basically the ranking system Abby, the dance teacher, had for her dancers. So we had our headshots, and there might be a picture, but basically we were ranked every week, and sometimes actually not sometimes, all the time, I found myself at the bottom.
You didn't want to be on the bottom of the pyramid.
Yes, you want to be at the top. The goal was to be at the top, and I found myself at the bottom week after week, you know? So that's the reason why I titled my book Bottom of the Pyramid, because it's really a testament to my journey and my life on that show. But also, I'm using that title and I'm flipping the script. I'm turning it around, making it into something positive, because at the bottom, that's where you start, you know? And then the only way you have to go is up.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you were already dancing on this competitive team before the studio was scouted for a reality show. So you started production when you were just 9 years old.
Right.
I can't even believe that. So, you know, I'm curious about how would you compare your expectations of what the show would be to how it actually turned out?
Right, well, we really didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. I mean, we're from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and those types of things don't really happen in our town. So when I first brought it up to my parents, they were just kind of like, I don't know if this is real. It sounds like a scam, but we just went into it with no expectations, and we had no idea it would be a pop culture phenomenon.
Wow.
You know, there was a lot of drama, as you guys saw in the trailer there, and it revolved around this teacher, Abby Lee Miller. You didn't even write her name in the book. Right?
No, so I wrote her name in the book, but I went back and forth with whether to actually use her name or not.
Okay, and so talk to me about that and what that process was like for you.
Well, the process of just writing the book was very therapeutic, but also at sometimes it was really hard and challenging, and remembering some of the things that were said about me, said to me, the experiences I went through, it was hard to go back to some of those places and some of those emotions, but I'm glad I did, because it's made me into the person I am today. And it's helped me really reflect on what really happened and process, because I never really had a chance to process everything that really happened. So the book really helped me with getting past that and being able to share my story and talk about it freely.
What were the methods, though, that bothered you, that kind of stuck with you?
Yeah, of course.
About her teaching style.
Yes, well, there were a lot of things. I'm not opposed to tough love, but at a certain point, it's not tough love anymore. At a certain point, it's racism, it's nastiness, you know? It's cruelty. And, you know, she would talk about my hair not being the way that she wanted it to be, the way my body looked. I didn't have the typical ideal dancer's body, you know, I had curves. The color of my skin, it didn't match the costumes, and, you know, I stood out in the group dances. So it's certain things like that weren't okay, and that's not tough love. That's just being plain cruel.
Yes.
And that's some of the stuff that was edited out, I guess.
Yes, and a lot of that was edited out. I mean, we saw glimpses here and there of things that were said, but people didn't really get to see the full picture of everything that I really went through. So I really did a deep dive of that in the book, because I felt like my story deserved to be shared. Not just I felt, I know it deserves to be shared, you know? Just like everyone else's. Everyone's story matters.
Well, you actually worked a grueling production schedule. In some seasons, you'd film 50 to 60 hours a week, and that was for most of the year. You were just a kid, as we mentioned at the time. Can you talk a little bit more about what that was like behind the scenes?
Yeah, well, we had a really intense work schedule. Like you said, it was like 40 to 60 hours a week. And not only were we just filming, after we would film, we would actually attend dance classes. We were traveling. We were still students. You know, we still go to school during the day. So it was a lot that we did, you know, during those weeks, and not just doing all that, but learning a new dance every single week, and sometimes 2 or 3.
Right.
It's intense.
I know one of the most beautiful parts of the show and of your book is your relationship with your own mom.
Yes.
Right? And you only recently found out that she did something that we moms have done, cried in the corner when you were going through criticism. Do you think this show gave dance moms and dance a good or bad rap?
I think that there was good and bad, honestly. For my mom, she wasn't really like the typical dance mom, stage mom, She came from an education background. She was a principal. She had never been on TV. That wasn't her goal ever. She just did the show because she loves me and she wanted to support me, and it's something I wanted to do, which I'm always so grateful for, that she stood by me during everything, even when it got hard, In those moments, I look back now and I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel bad that I put her through that, because she felt those emotions with me anytime I was sad or being torn down. She had to not sit through that. She spoke up.
Yes.
But she did have to go through that with me. So it's nice now that I'm an adult and we can talk about it and talk freely about how we felt during those situations. And it's nice to just know that my mom has always had my back.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So nice.
We only have about a minute left, but I want to get this in. You left the show in 2017. You've since found success as an influencer. You even had a recurring role on The Bold and the Beautiful. You've moved on with your life. You've written this book. Do you have any feelings or hold any grudges by how you were treated by Abby or your former teammates? Like, have you connected at all? Like, what's your feeling when you look back
Right.
about that?
I'm still friends with some of my teammates, but for the most part, I do not have a relationship with Abby anymore. But for the most part, I don't hold grudges, I really just wanted to tell my story and share it, because I know that I'm not the only person who has ever felt these things before and have been in, not maybe like on television, but have been in these situations, So it was important for me to share my side of things because I never got a chance to, and I finally felt ready and not scared to ruffle feathers or lose friends. So yeah, it's been very therapeutic, and I couldn't be more happy with the place I'm at right now in life.
So good.
That's awesome. And we loved having you here.
Thank you so much.
The book
Thanks for
is
having
called
me.
Bottom of the Pyramid. It's available everywhere. And now, lucky members of our studio audience, you're all going home with one. That